Good morning, holy. Day 377 of the worldwide Megacrisis Hungerstrike to save your beautiful, sacred, blessed life. This is day 42 of my longest streak of no food. Thanks to you guys, I get to eat every once in a while. We're working on meal 20. We need 3,600 blessings, but I am feeling it hardcore today. Way worse than normal. I went to bed late because I started to, it's catching up to me. 42 days is a long time to go without food. You can start to see my face getting sunk in. The beard hides it a bit. But if you see me at the start of this streak, I look a lot different than this. My heart's pounding. And it's not slowing down. It is slowing down now, but it's been like 35 minutes. What does that mean? I'm very experienced at hunger strikes, so this has not happened very often before. That means we're getting into new territory. New territory. But good things are happening too. So, personal update. I want to make this video while it's happening, so you know that it's not fake. I really am 42 days in without food. Just save your life. I'm going to explain how in a second. I got to charge the phone. Holy smokes. The big thing about hunger strikes at this stage, it's not even just the hunger. I'm hungry. It's the sickness. You start to feel sick because, not even because of your stomach, it's because of your heart. When your heart's pounding, it makes you feel nauseous because you start to feel a little dizzy. And I never get dizzy. I never get vertigo, nothing. This is new for me. Not totally new. I've been here a couple of times before, but it's hard to breathe too. Hold on. I got a headache. This might look like a boring video to most people, but if you've been following me, I've been doing very well. Up until this moment. I'm still okay though. We still got a ways to go. But it's moving my strategy along. My arms are burning. Ooh. So when you do this, you gotta be kind to yourself. You gotta know your limits. So this is my human limits. So my mind wants to get going, but I'm showing you where you gotta get down to slowing down to speed up. We got AI coding right now too, so it's not like I'm sitting here doing nothing. My productivity is going up. See, it's coding right now. Did a massive refactoring last night. Rewrote the whole thing. It's very beautiful. You'll love it. We're building God's platform, God's government platform. Like I said. Okay, personal update. I didn't sleep quite enough last night. That's one of the biggest things. But every day that I wake up over the last 4 days, it's gotten exponentially harder. That's a sign. Okay. Bobby Sands is a famous Irishman. And I'm half Irish. He went 66 days and died in jail of a hunger strike, and we're up day 42. But he was in a jail, walking around and all these things. I'm sitting in a chair with a sleeping bag with heat bottles around me, as you guys know. So I don't have to spend, that's full of hot water. So my organs, my kidneys and everything are heated. And I got my little support tape. Despite my family not coming to my birthday, I love them. They just think they're right. and they're not right. And I'll explain why. They think they're right that my hunger strikes are wrong. The Irish legalized hunger strikes like 3,000 years ago because it's a legitimate expression of dignity. So they're wrong, and it's disrespectful, and they're complacent, and they're entitled. Most of the minimum wages, most of the wages that they're getting as working class people, where I was born. In fact, I wasn't even born working class. I was born poor, trailer trash. So the stereotype goes, and it's not true. It's because society's unfair. You can't get out of the poverty trap if you work hard. Because they're working class people, they have to rely on all these wage protections. Otherwise, they'd be exploited, like in the Industrial Revolution and actual slavery. And they take it for granted because they're comfortable. People gave their lives for $7.50 an hour minimum wage. Gave their lives. They put their entire families at risk because they knew if they didn't, it wouldn't end. And they get to sit home and get their days off and their vacation pays and all that kind of stuff without doing a thing. Yet they come and they berate people like me who actually have studied the crisis that we're in for thousands of hours while they watch TV, which doesn't exist anymore. Now we have like social media streaming platforms. So the entitlement is grotesque. I am disappointed in my family that way. They're not normally like this. They're actually very hardworking, honest, caring, and engaged people. I don't know what's going on with them, but it's not just my family. The social fabric of our whole species is being strained right now. My family's doing an okay job getting through it, but they're being a little bit, I think they crossed the line a little bit here by not even coming to my birthday. It's my 40th birthday. It's not like I'm 39 or, it's not a random birthday. All birthdays are important, but you know what I mean. I'm getting passionate, so I'm like overcoming the weakness. When I get started talking, I get into flow state because I've been thinking about this my whole life. I've been with the poor my whole life. I was literally born poor, and then I went to university to go and create a spiritual scientific paradigm shift to solve world suffering. And then I ended up studying poverty internationally or interdisciplinarily, and then created a solution that is now God's government, or the wise government. We know how to measure wisdom. So got my little support bear here, Sublation Bear. And sublation is the essence of the movement of wisdom. You'll hear me mention that weird word because it's the word that's missing. Okay, wow. Whoa. We need to take action soon, basically is my personal update. Okay. All right, and like I say, superficial external appearances, don't fall for it. Listen to the words that I'm saying to you. This is to look like the poor and be with them. All right, as you lift me, we lift the poor. I don't get a golden watch until everybody gets a golden watch. And it doesn't have to be the same watch. There's going to be competition and difference, okay? We're not going to have like a total file whole thing. A cooperative competition is the spice of life. But that requires special game rules, not unregulated craziness that leaves everybody behind. Oh man, not even the rich like it because they're always looking over their shoulder, seeing who's going to like topple them. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, I know this is kind of a boring recording because it's 9 minutes in and all I've done is told you I'm tired and I'm in pain. My heart's pounding. You don't need 9 minutes to tell people your heart's pounding, but anyway, I gave a couple of compliments to my family, but also a couple of concerns, and you might have the same. So we're building a new kind of family. If you come to my birthday on June 7th, and that's where I got a little bit like I started feeling it last night. Like I'm going into the next stage. You can start feeling your liver, and you can't really feel it directly, but you can start to feel your body changing, like it's moving through stages. And you only become that way when you meditate a lot and you really fast a lot and you get in touch and you're not all over the place with your mind. So I'm moving into the next stages, which means we got to speed up. So what I did last night is I spent almost all of my weekly tokens on these AIs refactoring to make it very beautiful, this system, and very fast, because it's so powerful. It started to bog down the system. So this will run everywhere quickly. And the platform is important for scalability because it allows people who are not good at dialectics or this universal logic to host meetings on their own. And the software helps make the meetings democratic, but also wise. So there's a balance between dictatorships, benevolent dictatorships, and democracy. You have to have both. I know it doesn't sound like it, but you actually do. It's part of wise thinking. The hard part is making sure the dictator is benevolent and that democracy is not a mob, right? It's actually not just majority rule, like when slavery existed, right? That was voted in. Well, it was always a part of history, but it was kept in even when they tried to change it. Ah, boy. Ooh. I'm liking. I make it look kind of easy, but it takes very small things to really tip the scales here. So things can go from looking real good to real bad real fast. This is really it's challenging to do this. And I want to show this so that if you're inspired to follow me in this example of peaceful protest, don't go violent, peaceful protest, then give yourself space when you need it. Don't test it, okay? Because if you go totally down, then it's not helping nobody. It looks like I'm going totally down. I'm not. This is tens of thousands of hours of strategic planning, an entire lifetime of integrity that allows other people to want to support me, at least a little bit. Nobody really wants to support this because they don't understand yet the honor of it. But you might. Oh, I had a beautiful person, Zigbee or somebody like that. Zigbee, if I got your name right. I try to look over your guys' comments before I make the videos now so I can actually engage you, because now we actually got an audience. Like, the followers are growing, and I guess I'm getting 90% more views than other streams because I'm streaming for so long, and it's kicking me off randomly. So if you're on the stream with me, like sometimes I'll have 6 people on there, and then all of a sudden the stream will just shut off, like not even a warning, not a caption, nothing. It just shuts it off. And I have like 20 there's these things you earn called flares, I found out. I got like 20 of them stacked up. I haven't used any of them because these social media platforms are just pure psychological manipulation. So we're going to have to do it word of mouth. And that's how the followers are coming, is partly because of that, I think. I'm trying to speed up this update because I have a lot to say and I feel like I haven't said anything. All these updates are like half an hour long. But if I do get too tired to talk, these will be full exfoliations of what I really think, right? Oh, okay, that's what I want to tell you. So we got to speed up here. That's what my personal update is. I actually don't even want to be sitting up now because I feel sick. I want to lay down. No, my phone didn't charge last night, so both my phones are streaming and dying. My power cords are breaking. Everything's breaking because I'm in the poverty trap. Okay, so let's say something new here. Zigbee, thank you for watching my video. They asked me on my comments of TikTok, they said, how can they help give some blessings? That's one of the first people I've said it that directly. Thank you. You can come to the meetings. I'm speeding up, so I'm hosting. Last night I decided to host 3 meetings this next week because I'm realizing, like, your heart has fat around it, right? My heart's it's gonna get serious here soon. My breathing feels feathery. As a term I use, like it's a weird place between having strength to breathe, and it's not painful, but it has a weird, like, ticklish, weird feeling to it. It's weird. It feels tied to my guts, to my diaphragm. It's weird. It's cool. Our ancestors were so much more in touch with their bodies and environment. Holy, we are numb. It's an incredible awakening experience. You gotta try it. Maybe not 41 days, but you can do it if you're healthy. The longest I've ever gone was 28 days, but it was outside, so it was way harder. So that's another reason why I'm doing so well. My hands are going numb. All right, so join these 3 meetings, okay, if you can. I'm actually going to try and get us all in for my birthday. If we can get it done on the 8th, which is only a couple of days, then when I go to my birthday, I'm going to physically try and go. I'm going to see if my family... I have my sister coming. My sister's always been there. Send love to my sister, Jen. My younger one, I love her, you guys. I tell this to their faces. So in my world, you're allowed to speak behind people's backs, even negative things, but you can't leave them there. Because that means you're stuck in dialectic. You're not sublating. You're not being realistic, okay? That's gossip. But if you say, here's a problem and here's how to solve it, especially if you brought it up to them a couple of times, you're not just airing laundry. We're trying to create a movement here. We're not in a normal situation of office politics. We are trying to save lives, okay? My little sister, I wasn't planning to talk about this. The whole video is going to be forever, but I want to tell you a little bit about my context, because as we start to rise to power, I can see that we have the right pieces in place to actually pull off this God's government, okay? My family history is going to come out where they're going to say I was a bad brother. You know, the Gandhi thing kind of happened to me, where I went to university and did all this poverty stuff, and my family life looks neglected. Like I wasn't there for my family. I was giving it all to the other poor, my global family. And that was a mistake that Gandhi made, and one of his children became an alcoholic, and then he died. Like, all these terrible things happened, and Gandhi looked like a bad father and all these things. And his wife and him fought a lot. I didn't make that mistake. I knew what it would take of my real wife to be here with me and something like this. She would understand exactly what I'm doing right now. Exactly. The strategy, not just being there with her heart and being like, oh, I love you, you're doing the right thing. Yeah, but like know the strategy and doing things in the strategy. Because she has a strong emotional side and a strong analytical side. So it's going to look like I wasn't a good brother, a good son, all these things. But here's what really happened. I had a spiritual paradigm awakening in terms of realizing that something was messed up in society, and I was going to change it, dedicate my life to it. Not just know it, but change it. And so I was young, like 13 years old. But I was always spiritually connected, right? Messiah level consciousness. But in the beginning, you don't know how to articulate it because you're stuck in finitude. You're still, half of you is human, right? Like even Jesus, for example, was said that his knowledge was improving. Well, if he was always knowing everything, he wouldn't have to improve, would he? He had a human side. We had to rediscover how to make that connection explicit. We all have that connection, by the way. We're all in the image of God. But also in terms of Hinduism and Buddhism and Judaism, they're all in the same vein that way. They have different stages. They have different essences, though. They're all essential at different levels of the actualization of spirit through contingent human history. And in ordinary human history, there's a different kind of history, godly history happening simultaneously. Okay? And you'll learn how to recognize that once you learn universal logic. But in my personal life, as people air my laundry out, right? There's this guy's not the Messiah. He did this bad. Those are all contingent things. Okay, the universal is what I held strong, because and when you're in this toxic world, you're experimenting, you're doing normal human things. But I never betrayed anybody directly. If it ever happened, it wasn't intentionally. And I try to repay everybody. Everything is just in God's world. It's just that our situation is worse than even I was prepared for. Even when I was a kid, it's actually headed in that direction. So we're going to bring Kingdom Come. And what's going to happen with my immediate family, my little sister. The reason why I'm saying this is because I talked about my little sister, my bigger sister. Well, not my bigger, I'm the older brother, but she's the older sister out of the sisters. My oldest sister, I'm not the eldest, she lost control of her mind. Her mind was so powerful that they drugged her and they didn't understand her. If I would have known universal logic back then, like how to articulate it, could have saved her from them destroying her brain. But she also might have had, she got bit by a dog and might have had a disease. Like there's things that happened to her. We love her very much, but it's important to stay grounded. Okay. My immediately younger sister, Jen, is one of the purest hearts you will ever know. She's not the biggest philosopher, but as we grew up, she could keep up a bit. She found the conversations interesting. Oh, somebody liked my comment on the Tony Robbins AI forum. That hasn't happened in a month. Okay, maybe people are paying attention. Good. They're starting to freak out because your bank account getting hacked right now. Let's stay focused though. Wow, this video is not going how I plan. All right, so Jen, amazing. She's supporting me right now, actually. And she's not happy with it, but she's starting to understand. The other young ones were always a little bit entitled. And I felt like we were good older brothers and sisters helping to raise them because we had 5 kids in our family and my mother was running 2 businesses and we were trying to help her. And so we did a lot of babysitting. We did a lot of, child rearing, changing diapers, all that when we were young. So I know what it takes to raise children. It's hard. Even when we weren't the main parents, it was still hard. And sleeping with them and all these things. So we took, I think, very good care and they got used to that. They don't know what a bad family is actually like. But they did have a father situation that was very unstable because my mother was through 2 divorces. It's what happens to you in the poverty trap. You got a lot of trauma in these men and my dad was an alcoholic. So just typical poverty trap stuff. I know what it's all like. Not just theoretically, I studied it through ethnography and sociology. And when I went to university, I took 12 years of open studies. I mean, I've been to university part-time and full-time for something like 15 years. But I also have like 15 years of grassroots organizing. So I didn't just learn in the classroom. I went and built a 66-person volunteer team and we did soup kitchens and toy runs and international work. And we went to the United Nations. We did a lot of stuff. And then I realized there's something wrong. So it literally got to the point of the fabric of reality. I'm like, what's this gossip about? Like, why does my organizations keep having this undercurrent of like resentment building up? Not just between me, but between even members, between and it's dialectic is what it is. I found it, which we're solving in God's government now, which is why it's scalable to hundreds of millions of people sustainably because we've learned sublation. All right. And we're not being naive. We know how to embrace the negative without succumbing to it. All right. And integrating it into the positive. Holy. So when I was young, my sister and I were always about volunteering and doing a bunch of stuff in the community. We were just like that. My mom raised us like that too. She was very, very beautiful on the inside. She's a spiritual leader. She's just thinking that I'm manipulating her. And because she was a foster child for a while. Like we even have foster homes and all this. Mental illness, foster homes, alcoholism, literally all of it. And you think I have white privilege. When you're white and you're a trailer trash, you don't have, your white people don't like you. And the other races don't like you. So you get it from both ends. It sucks. So you're like, the contradictions in society just laser beam on you. So you get a hyper deep experience of culture that most people don't get to see, which is why I'm able to see reality clearly. And I know the difference between justice and charity, because when people were helping us, I was thinking to myself, this isn't helping us. This is making you look good. And now I have hand-me-downs that are going to break in like 2 months from now. And that's exactly what happened, because planned obsolescence has gotten worse. So the poor are always on a treadmill. And if you're going to give something that's not going to break. Give your best. Follow Jesus. Follow Buddha. Follow the greats. Okay? So this difference between justice and charity is very big. And the Black community and the Indigenous community are very big on that distinction. And not me as a white guy, they don't expect me to know that distinction, but I know it very well, because when you are poor and you see it happening and you can't talk about it and they're not open to it, it is the epitome of hypocrisy. They are the exact opposite of what they think they're doing. And that dialectical inversion is why our world's backwards right now, but on the surface it looks forwards. So you got to get to this deeper level. So how does this relate to my family story and the baggage that's going to come out against me? I was accused of my younger brother and sister that I was never there for them. But what really happened was, when they were young, I invited them to the university, and I invited them into my Make Poverty History organization to help me start volunteering and getting them into this volunteer world, and not the drunken world, not all the party world. They can do that a little bit. It's a big thing where I was born, in this sort of small rural community where it's like a lot of drinking. And they denied me. So I invited them into this positive world, and they wanted to go drink and party and drug and all, not drugs necessarily, not as far as I'm aware. They got into, my sister, not so much. She was suicidal. She got into these toxic relationships and got suicidal. And we had to do a bunch of interventions, a bunch of stuff. Very public. It's not like I'm saying anything the public doesn't know. She actually went on and talked about it. And so she had a lot of emotional problems. And by this point, when they were born, my mother married a third man, and we actually were starting to build this big house. See, there's a mansion on our repo lot. So we were in this repo lot. We got a social worker to help my mother get this like really cheap, broken down lot with a cracked foundation in the basement, which is technically not great, right? If the foundation is leaking dirt into your basement, that means it's breaking apart and your house is falling down. That's what we moved into. And so we had to rebuild it. It's not like, oh, we want to build a big mansion. It's like, my mother married a carpenter at the end, a third dad. And so he and my mother designed the house. Well, my mother designed it. She did all the blueprints, saved tens of thousands, whatever dollars, built her dream home. And then he started doing the carpentry and laying it all out and protecting her from being exploited by other companies. And then us kids came and did some of the labor. So we built the house ourselves. And she thought, well, if we have to build the house, we might as well build something that'll help them retire. And we did. And we did it like on a crazy budget, because we work hard. We spent our summers building these little houses and all this type of stuff. So instead of going to the lakes and going on vacations, we went and we renovated houses, our own house and another house, and just constantly fixed things. So it was a learning experience for us, but it also, could have been different if we had the same access to opportunity. That's why when I had the chance to go to university, we took it. So my brother and sister went down these crazy paths, whereas my sister Jen went and became a surgeon, and I went on to try and launch all these entrepreneurial businesses and just all these things to help build, to end poverty. So I'm trying to end poverty with wisdom and justice, and my sister became a surgeon. And we have no one else in our family that went to university. My mom has a little bit of community college that I guess she didn't quite finish. She finished a certificate or something in bookkeeping, which is how she fed our family. She did books for trucking companies and her own. My mom's an amazing person entrepreneurially. But there's a Pareto category around that, meaning she has an advantage that's hidden. That's how we got out of the poverty trap, God-giftedness. But we didn't find that until late. All right, so it doesn't invalidate her hard work, but it just means that people in the poverty trap can't repeat what we're doing unless we create a fairer system. real justice that measures for that. All right. Oh, come on now, I think. So that's what my sister and I did. And my older sister, well, my mom was trying to take care of her. And she became an RN too, I think, or a nurse, even with that mental distress. And these modern psychiatric drugs do not help recovery rates. Look at the studies. It's not great. The mental health ward needs to change. It needs to listen better. And I know that because I was trapped in one on my first hunger strike. If you look at my other videos, that's why I'm suing the hospitals here. And not just suing them, but proposing new patient rights unfoldment directives and turning it into a spirit ward and all these things. Okay, so my younger brother and sister, what do? So I was an honor student in high school, and so was my sister. So I went to university, and the year after, or 2 years after, she came, and then we were both at university. The first year was so hard on me because I didn't know anybody, right? My younger brother and sister almost dropped out of school, despite us coaching them and helping them. And my sister brought them on. She did these like huge toy drives and like treasure hunts, and like their birthdays were epic. My sister cooked for them. My mom's a great cook, and we did tons of things for them. We took them on sleigh rides. I remember we used to like pull them around on sleighs for hours. And it's like they forgot about it. And then they got into these toxic, horrible relationships that we warned them not to get into because these men were damaged and taking advantage of my little sister a little bit, emotionally abusive. And I studied that, right? So I took all my leadership training that I learned from Make Poverty History, and I was trying to do that with her. She wouldn't listen. And then she almost committed suicide. We had to go and rescue her, and all this weird stuff happened to her. And she eventually turned to God because she got into another toxic relationship with another guy. And I actually went to his face. My whole family didn't like it. I actually went to him as loving as I could because I took the vow of abandonment. I said, hey, look, you're 44. She's 21. And now I'm almost 40, right? So I know kind of how he feels, but I take a lot more. I'm not an alcoholic, right? I take very good care of my body. So I'll be doing a lot better than him. But he was going to, studies show he started to deteriorate quickly. And he already had 3 kids. And he had a divorce and all these things. And I said, Candace, this is a man that's out of control of himself in some way. And she wouldn't listen again. And I stuck my neck out.